Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Vidyarthini's Academy of Computer Science Learn with Passion. In today's session, we'll be seeing about operating system structure. And before we get started, if you like my video lectures, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. The topic for this session is operating system structure, and OS can be implemented with the help of various structures, and the structure of OS mainly depends on how various common components of operating system are interconnected and melded into the kernel. And depending on this, there are various types of structures of operating system. They are simple structure, layered structure, microkernel, modular structure or approaches. First we'll be seeing about the simple structure. This type of operating system do not have a well-defined structure. It's not a well-defined structure, and they are basically small, simple and limited system wherein the interfaces and the levels of functionality are not well separated. They are put together in one thing. And very popular example of simple structure of operating system is MS-DOS, that is a Microsoft Disk Operating System. In this, application programs are able to access the basic input-output routines, and these type of operating system causes the entire system to crash if one of the user program fails. Why? Because everything is put together in one small thing and there are no layer-wise separation. So if any small mistake happens, it will crash the entire system. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of MS-DOS. This is the entire structure of the disk operating system. They are like, first layer will be a application program, then it gets connected to the system program, then MS-DOS device driver, and it will in turn access the ROM basic input output system device driver. MS-DOS is a single-user, single-tasking computer operating system that uses command line interface. In spite of its very small size and relative simplicity, it is one of the most successful operating systems that has been developed. It is written mainly to provide most functionality in least space. And the main quality of this MS-DOS is it's not divided into modules, and interfaces and levels of functionality are not well separated. Though MS-DOS has some structure, its interfaces and levels of functionality are not well separated. That is the disadvantage when it comes to this simple structure, and this is the MS-DOS prompt. MS-DOS application programs uses this basic input-output routine. So what is basic input-output routine? Basic input-output system is a program a personal computer's microprocessor uses to get the computer system started after you turn it on. It also manages the data flow between the computer's operating system and the attached devices such as hard disk, video adapter, printer, keyboard, mouse, etc. So this basic input-output system routine is the one which is connecting the operating system and the attached devices. And ROM BIOS. Why do they say this? Basic input-output system is present in the personal computer's read-only memory chip. So that is why they say ROM basic input-output system. Now let's see the advantages and disadvantages of simple structure. Advantages: it delivers better application performance because of fewer interfaces between the application program and the hardware, and it is easy for the kernel developers to develop such operating system because there is only fewer interface, and this can also be seen as a disadvantage. So disadvantages of simple structure. The structure is very complicated as no clear boundaries exist between the modules. So since there is no levels of modules, it says that it is more complicated because there is no clear boundaries which exist between the modules. Everything is put together in one simple thing, and it does not enforce data hiding in the operating system. So everything is put together in one simple system, and there is no levels of modules, so there is no data hiding in turn in the operating system. Next is the layered structure. An operating system can be broken into pieces and can retain much more control over the system. Here the OS is broken into number of layers, that is levels. The bottom layer, layer 0, is the hardware, and the topmost layer, layer N, is the user interface. Each layer uses the functionality of the lower level layer. This simplifies the debugging process. How? When you debug and an error occur, it means the error is present only in that layer, because the lower level layer is already being debugged, and that is the reason you are in the topmost layer. So as if lower layer are debugged and an error occurred during the debugging, then the error must be present only in that layer, as the lower level layer have already been debugged. That's what they say in this. This is the structure of a layered operating system, wherein the layer 0 is the hardware and the layer n is the user interface. What could be the disadvantage of layered structure? Here are some. At each layer, the data need to be modified and passed on to the above layer, which adds the overhead to the system, and more careful planning is necessary, because one layer will be using the information given by the lower level layer. So it has to be planned very carefully. So Unix is an example of this layered structure. Now let's see about Unix system structure. Unix system structure is limited by hardware functionality, and the original Unix operating system had limited structuring. And Unix operating system consists of two separable parts, the kernel and the system program. And the kernel consists of everything below the system call interface and above the physical hardware, the interface which connects the hardware to the system. And it provides file systems, CPU scheduling, memory management, and other operating system functions. And it is providing a large number of functions for one level. And system program used to define the user interface. Now let's see the pictorial representation of Unix system structure. This is what they say. The kernel is consisting of everything below the system call interface to the kernel, and the kernel and above the interface to the hardware. So this is the structure of Unix system. Now let's see the advantages and disadvantages of layered structure. Advantages of layered structure. Layering makes it easy to enhance the operating system. That is, implementation of a new layer can be done very easily without affecting other layers, and it is very easy to perform debugging and system verification. As we saw earlier, debugging is done very easily, because when an error occurs during debugging of a particular layer, that error will be present only in that layer, as the previous layer is already been debugged and it is out of error. So this is why they say it is very easy to perform debugging and system verification. Next is the disadvantage of layered structure. Application performance is degraded as compared to system structure. Why do they say this? When compared to system structure, in layered structure, application performance is less. Why? Because in simple structure, everything is put together in one single thing, whereas in layered structure, everything is in the form of layers, and comparatively the application performance is little less, and it requires careful planning of for designing the layers. Why? Because one layer will be using the information given by the previous layer. So we have to be very careful in planning and designing the layers. Now let's see the next type of operating system structure, the microkernel. Microkernel, this type of structure designs operating system by removing all non-essential components from the kernel and implementing them as a system or user program, system and user program. This result in smaller kernel called microkernel. The advantages of using a microkernel are all new services needed to be added to the user space and does not require the kernel to be modified. Whereas in the layered structure, you will be adding everything in the form of layers, and it will in turn be resulting in modifying the OS. Whereas in microkernel, all new services needed to be added to the user space, and the kernel is left untouched, and it does not require the kernel to be modified. Thus, it is more secure and reliable, because if a service is not working properly, that is, if a service fails, then the rest of the operating system remains untouched. So it is no way going to affect the operating system. And example for a microkernel is the Mac OS, and below is the structure of Mac operating system, wherein the first layer consists of application environment and the common services, and the kernel consists of BSD and Mac. What is BSD and Mac? BSD stands for Berkeley Software Distribution, which refers to the particular version of Unix operating system that was developed at and modified from the University of California at Berkeley. And Mac is the kernel developed at Carnegie Mellon University. So MACH is the kernel. And let's see the advantages and disadvantages of microkernel. Advantage of microkernel structure: it makes the operating system portable to various platforms, and as microkernels are small, these can be tested effectively. So these are the two advantages. It is portable and it can be tested effectively. Disadvantage: it has increased level of intermodule communication, which in turn degrades the system performance. Next type of operating system structure is the modular structure or approach. It is considered as one of the best approach for an operating system. It involves designing of modular kernel. Kernel has only the core components, and the rest of the services are added dynamically. That's what they say. Other services are added as dynamically loadable modules to the kernel either during the runtime or boot time. It resembles the layered structure due to the fact that in each, the kernel is protected. A kernel has a defined and protected interface. It is more flexible than layered structure because modules can be called, any modules can be called by any other modules. Whereas in layered structure, a layer can use only the functionality provided by the layer below it. So that is the main difference here. It is more flexible than layered structure because any module can call any other module. The example for layer modular structure is the Solaris operating system. This is the pictorial representation of Solaris OS. Here there is the core kernel, and other services are in the form of modules: the file system, devices and bus drivers, scheduling classes, executable format. Everything is in the form of modules, which the kernel will be calling whenever it is required, either during the runtime or during the boot time. What are the advantages of this modular structure? Advantages: uses object-oriented approach because each service is in separate module and each core component is separate. The kernel, the core component, is separate from other services. Each talk to the other over a known interface. So one module can also call the other module through a known interface. Each is loadable as needed within the kernel. So each module can be loaded into the kernel as and when required during the runtime or the boot time, and it is more reliable because less code is running in the kernel mode, and it is more secured also. Overall, this modular structure is similar to layered structure, but it is more flexible. So next is the disadvantage. So what will be the disadvantage of modular structure? As you all know, the kernel has only the core components and other services are in the form of modules. So the communication between the modules and the kernel will be the overhead. That is what they say: performance overhead of user space to the kernel space communication. This will be the disadvantage of modular structure. Thus, in this session, we saw about the operating system structure and the various structures of operating system, and they are simple structure, layered structure, microkernel, modular structure. Example for simple structure is MS-DOS. Example for layered structure is Unix. Microkernel example is Mac operating system. Modular structure example is Solaris operating system. That's all for this session. Thank you. My next session will be in operating system calls. Thank you.